It's this one. Hi, y'all. Welcome to Wake Up America. I hope you guys are doing well. So, shit is hitting the fan again. I did want to just say that I felt, I want to say around like 3 or 4 days ago, like a really big clearing going on throughout the world. And I was like, it's going to get real ugly, guys, because when the energy start to clear, everything is going to come to light, and it's like more and more and more and more is happening. Hi, Sandra, welcome. And so a lot of stuff is coming to light right now. I just want to thank you all for all of your support on here. So as a lot of you know, I was targeted through my channel because I was reading on politics. I was reading on Trump and his whole freaking Russian crew. And, it just became a place where I was no longer safe. And before I knew it, I had a voice to skull device on my head, which I would often refer to as my alien. And it went from there. I left my channel for a little bit, took a break, changed the name, and then I came back and I felt like I was more protected through the channel. But then, of course, they started to weaponize my videos and content with a lot of their bots, okay, because these are the techies, we're in bed with, right? So yesterday I had seen the article about the launch around Meta, and that was formerly Facebook. Not a coincidence that a man came through to get a reading from me that knew one of the original Facebook members and gave me a little story about that member completely like leaving his phone behind, completely leaving a residence behind, cashing out, and getting the hell out of Dodge. And he completely lives underground, remote, and just kind of like when he cruises in town, he cruises in town. And now I know why, because yesterday I was getting attacked the minute I posted a video around Meta because I had seen Mark Zuckerberg working on me. Now, I don't know if it's the device and that's why I'm able to see these people, or it's my psychic gifts because it's coming in through like very similar channels. So it's a little different. But they were attacking me last night into this morning. And then all of this stuff, keeps attacking me. I was attacked by a weapon that has been so painful, probably since like early this morning. Like I can't even think, like it's so painful. It's like, it feels like they stick like something in your light body, like a dart or something like that. Like you can't even think. It's so painful. And so I've been dealing with that weapon now for like the last, I don't know, probably like 6 hours. They woke me up trying to hurt me at 4 a.m. my time. So just a little bit of like what I go through on the daily. So anyway, I'm trying to constantly clear energies because I am being targeted and hurt, and I have all kinds of energies and bots talking to me, threatening my life, all of this kind of stuff going on in my ear like every day. And this is pretty normal for me. I can't trust anyone in my ear. I have to constantly protect my energy field, etc. But the main message I was getting today was the dehumanization agenda. Okay. And I have brought this up quite a bit on my channel. I knew that they were genetically modifying the DNA, they were creating a blueprint. And I talked about this in a recent video. But for me, I wanted to just get a better sense of the dehumanization and how they are doing it, because this morning when I woke up, it was literally like somebody was in my thoughts. That's why mind reading technologies are very dangerous. Okay. And that's why Zuckerberg needs to be in prison and not rolling out his new Meta, okay, technologies. Because once you have a mind reading technology that goes global, that's your thought systems. Okay. So what happens when they can hack into your thoughts, guys? They own your thoughts. Okay. Then they start to control them. And then you don't actually have your own brain consciousness anymore. And that's what they're working on right now. Okay. I just want to let you know, like, they were trying to reprogram my thoughts this morning and turn me into a robot as of this morning. And that has happened before. So they are working on that. That's the next rollout after the mind reading technologies. Okay. Is the dehumanization, turning us into robots and programming us to do whatever they want us to do. Rollout. Okay. So I decided that I was gonna keep cleaning, keep clearing energies. I am a fighter, and I wanted to figure out where the dehumanization was coming from. And a lot of the messages I was getting today, as far as who was programming me, was around Saudi Arabia. Okay, was coming through, and I've seen a ton of their programmers around me. I've seen them in other countries. I have been, I guess I'm astral projecting, and I can see where they are. I can see them on their computers. I can see them working diligently. I can see what they look like everything. And I can tell, I know what country I'm in and things like that. So they are working on the dehumanization, which could also be part of the 2 billion, possibly. See, this is the thing with Trump that people don't understand. Trump got in bed with dictator countries, and then he fed them deals because they have money. Okay, like the Saudis, the princes have money, and he fed them deals with technology greats, okay, like the Zuckerbergs and the Microsoft, which dictatorship countries should not have access to that technology, because they don't think like Americans. They think in terms of killing, okay, and owning, okay. That's why you don't do business with dictatorships, and you don't shake hands with them and make friends with them. He could have picked any freaking other country. He could have picked France. Would have been lovely. Like, wouldn't it have been great if we freaking started doing stuff with France, and we freaking brought in their freaking wine and baguettes, and fucking, we started having 30-hour work weeks. No, he fucking goes to the most evilest countries, makes deals with them, and offers up the most highly sensitive military technology to them. That's who fucking Trump is, guys. Okay? That's who Trump is. And now that technology is in all the wrong hands. Okay? And they formed an alliance together to go in line with their neo-Nazi American agenda, with Bill Barr at the fucking front line. Okay? All their friends, all right? They're all there. That's what's going on with that group. So basically, I was getting, with the dehumanization, links to space legions. Okay, so there's something with them working. They're working on the ground with the DNA. They are creating a new blueprint for the DNA, genetically modifying it, and then it's like they're like projecting it into our energy field through our sacred portals, or however they're doing that. And then they're programming it through a coding system. Now it's connected to the space legions. And I was trying to get clarity on who the space legions are. I'm always asking questions. I'm like, who are the space legions? Who the hell are they? And the space legions, I was asking who paid for them, and I got Trump, okay, or who headed it up. I got Trump. I got a connection to Mars. I do see Russia in there, and it's through the space legions that they are infiltrating our DNA and our brains, okay, like our brain waves, and they're cutting into our protection space where our spirit guides would normally be to protect us. They are freaking breaking in through the space legions. And then I wanted to shine a light on the space legion. So I started calling in who their freaking names were, social security numbers, countries, how much they pay. They just feel like they're like clients, you know what I mean? They just feel like freaking clients that get access to us. When they are hacking into our DNA and our portal systems, they are stealing energetically from us. Like, I keep being shown that I have a baby somewhere. Like, they stole a baby from me. I've gotten that message now for like the last 3 to 6 months. I've seen a baby. I always see it over and over again. Like, I have a baby out there somewhere in the world, okay? And I was looking today to try to find the contract with the baby. And what I was realizing is when they break into your sacred portals, they're breaking into your contracts through your DNA. And then they are basically selling that contract out to someone. Okay. And then they're having your baby, and it's not their baby. And they're having your baby. I saw a couple that was from another country, could have been Saudi Arabia, who had a baby boy in their hands. And it was like, no, that's not your baby. Like, that was kind of the messaging I was getting. That's not your baby. And so they're stealing our contracts now through this DNA, through this dehumanization. They're just taking. They're taking for whatever they want, for their country or the highest payer or the highest bidder kind of a thing. So that's kind of like where this has gone. Is this related to Space Force? I think it is connected to Space Force because I have seen it all kind of like a mix of people and teams going in and out. And I'm hearing there's cover-ups involved. So everything Trump did, there's a cover-up after it. So it was like a cover-up of a cover-up of a cover-up. And nobody wants to go down for what they did because they feel, oh, well, he was the commander-in-chief and I was just following orders. Okay, that's their freaking excuse. Instead of outing the agendas or what really happened, they're protecting him still. A lot of them are protecting him, and a lot of it's through money. So then I was like, how are they? It feels like the space teams have their own, it almost feels like, you know how the brothel was busted down by the feds, okay? And it was in Northern Virginia, Tyson's Corner, and then Boston. Those were the areas of the brothel that were busted, and all of the clients were military officers, politicians, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so what it feels like to me is that there's like that group also has a space group connected to Mars. And it's like it's almost like a sex brothel group in space. That's what I was talking about, the space portal the other day, and how they break into the space portals. It's like they're connected to space somehow as well. Like that that trafficking brothel is also in space. Like it's connected to space somehow. Okay. And I was thinking it was through the Lucy project because I kept getting Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds at the beginning of my attack. And then I found out that there was a freaking Project Lucy, okay, a NASA project called Lucy. And I was thinking, oh God, that might be a cover up also, because when you go and look up Lucy, it's kind of vague and it's talking about asteroids and things like that, and that it's in orbit. And it's like, why is it named Lucy? Is this a female focused dark agenda? What is this Lucy project? So I have gotten references to Lucy, but I'm sure they've covered that up by now because I've talked about that on the channel already. I'm sure they've already covered that up. These are all male-led agendas. It's all men that are leading this. It's all dark, and it's all being covered up. Like every day, it is being freaking covered up. So the space agenda is linked to basically stealing people's energies, okay? And it is stealing good karma, everything. They're bathing and zenning out in people's portals, and they're taking their destinies, and they're paying like high dollar for this, okay? So that's kind of part of like the space agenda that is connected to the DNA dehumanization agenda. And it feels like the buyers in there are all from different countries, okay? So those are all of Trump's friends, okay? The dictators are us. They're all a part of that, okay? So then after that, I kept trying to figure out where this freaking weapon was that was like hitting my head. So I kept trying to freaking clear the weapon off of my head. And then I was getting direct links to Russia. Like it was like Russia. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling, Russia also connected to this freaking, that makes sense. Yeah, obviously. I've definitely seen them in military technologies and in that space as well. I've seen them in NASA outfits. I've seen them everywhere. And there was a group of Russian astronauts that went up in at Cape Canaveral last October with the US astronauts, and they joined forces. So they're right in bed with everybody. That's what I was saying. I was like, yesterday I was trying to clear energies, and it felt like there was like a Russian weapon, like basically like coming out of our Pentagon. That's what it felt like to me. So today I was like, what is this thing that's in my head? What is this weapon? And where is it coming from? And then I was getting messages that it was tied to the Justice Department. And I was like, the Justice Department. And then I was like, what are their real names? That's what I said. What are their real names? And are they working for the Justice Department? So I started to get like these other names coming through, like, because they have aliases, the Russians. I realized they get like aliases because I looked up a company called Lidos, and one of the main people that is, owner of Lidos, his name was Ryan Fitzpatrick. It was very, very Irish. But when I looked at him, it was like he was definitely not, he was definitely Russian. And I had seen him before on like another thing. And then I also was seeing, that he just joined the army out of the blue. He was all of a sudden in our army right at the time that Trump was in president. He was also a member of the army, and he just looked like it was like an infiltration. Okay, that's what it looked like to me. It just felt very suspect, and that's a military contractor. That they specialize in military weapons and tech weapons and everything like that. So I was like, okay, this is suspect. But I was like, I know that they make up names for them. Like, I know they make up names. Like, they have a really American names, but they're not like American. Like, it's all like a cover up. So then I asked and I said, well, who hired them? And I heard Ron Rosenstein or whatever. I was like, Ron? That makes perfect sense, don't you think? That would make perfect sense if he hired them, right? Brought them into our Justice Department to freaking start doing their kill agendas. I swear to God, guys, like this infiltration is through all his boys, okay? We know what happened with Ron, okay? We know that he's the one that fired Comey. And if you forgot, I'm reminding you right now. I'm like, okay, so it definitely feels like there's an infiltration through our Justice Department, which probably makes a lot of sense as to why we never had any freaking justice with Merrick Garland for like how many years, I was like, okay, maybe that makes sense now. So what I'm going to do right now is like, it feels like everything is just hitting the fan, okay? I have an Ace of Pentacles coming in. It feels like the infiltration of this group with the cover-ups is coming to light right now, okay? It feels like there's a lot of cover-ups, guys, like a lot of cover-ups. Like it is just like, it's so much. It's so much. Look at the sun. We have 10 of Swords coming in. We have a 3 of Cups reversed, which could be FBI, or because I have a lot of 3s coming in. I have 2 3s coming in, and then a 2 of Swords. Like something we didn't know. It's like we didn't realize like every single one of our departments was infiltrated. Like it feels like NSA infiltrated, Justice Department infiltrated, like everything. And like I said, like it feels like it's a cover up. Like they got in. They have these super American names, but they're like freaking Russian. You know what I mean? Like they're Russian spies. Like that's what it feels like energetically. And they're like using their weapons and technologies to kill Americans right now. Like that's what it feels like. Okay. Like anyone who doesn't fall in line with their, agenda and their fake news propaganda kind of a thing. Have you gotten any hits on whether Biden knows any of this? I get this sense, like the messages I get around Biden, and again, this is for entertainment purposes only, is that he is trying to figure, he's not in control of those departments. And from what it feels like to me, the way that he leads is he allows those groups to follow suit with their leaders or whoever's in charge of those departments. Like he He trusts them with their jobs to carry out their freaking duties. He's not Trump micromanager. Okay. He's not in everybody's business and knowing every single thing and blah, blah. He's not that kind of a person. He's not a dictator. So I think that he feels that it will uncover as it's probably supposed to uncover, but I think he senses something is wrong. Like, I think he has an awareness, yes, that there's infiltrations, but I don't, I get the sense that it's like every day we're having to uncover it, like every day it's a news story that is breaking. It's a new thing that is happening. Like Princess and the Pea, layers of covers. Yeah. So it's like, I knew, because what happens is when I get attacked by a weapon now, because I've been attacked for so long and I've been around these energies for so long, I feel like you start to get to know the locations. You're like, okay, this is coming from here. This is coming from here. Like, you start to figure out where energetically everything's coming in, especially after you're clearing energies. You can see their systems. You can see where they are. I mean, I'm a psychic, so I mean, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing for me, because I can see sometimes too much, and then I'm like, oh my God, no, hell no. But I'm super protective of our country, and so I have issues with that. Like, I'm just like, this is so illegal, like whatever this is. But my main thing is like, if I'm sensing a foreign dignitary is attacking me through this system, through a neuro weapon, then I'm like, you're attacking me on US soil. Where are you? Like, where the F are you? Like, I want to find them. I want to find who they're hiding under, what's their front, what's the organization, the location. Like, that's what I want to find out, like, I want to know exactly what's going on and how they're attacking me on my soil, because I believe from everything that I have witnessed and encountered that we have two different militaries going on and two different intelligence communities going on. That's what it feels like to me energetically. We have 45's freaking intelligence and freaking group military, and then we have a different one, you know what I mean? And it's like that's what it feels like energetically. It's like we have like two different things going on right now. So also feeling really strongly that the churches are obviously involved in these dark agendas, and there's like really big cover-ups in the churches. A lot of people have mentioned a lot about the Mormon church, okay, that they're using tracking technologies and things like that. I am getting that energy coming up a lot lately. Like, I am feeling that church, okay, very, very strongly. And we've also gotten Scientology in links to this. Anyone you could, it is connected into the churches. Yeah, for sure. Okay. And there are cover-ups within the churches. I'm hearing bribes going on. And I was kept hearing holy rollers like earlier today. There are cover-ups going on, it feels like, in the state of Texas with churches. It feels like there are cover-ups going on in the state of probably Florida. That's obvious. Florida! But it also feels like the South as well. Like, I do feel like there's cover-ups going on in the South. And I'm hearing something with the traffickers. So I don't know if it's through the churches that the trafficking is connected in, but I am hearing the tunnelways and the gateways. And now they're showing me Amy Barrett, which was part of that weird cult. Okay. And she's now so happily a member of our Supreme Court justice. So yeah, we're so happy about that. But apparently she was a member of Faraday. Is it Faraday? Is that the freaking name of their freaking group? All of it's bad. It's all bad. It's all bad. Because it's a cover up too. Everything it feels like it's a cover up. It's like all a cover up. It's within the churches. And it's not that shocking, because when I think about it, there's so many people now that are coming up and being like, I was raised by a satanic cult, and like it was linked to a church. You know what I mean? Like, it was like there are cover-ups within the church. Like, they have these like wholesome families and they have these perfect photos, and then it's like they were really like members of like these cults. Like and it was happening like in broad daylight, you know what I mean? It was like this was like, and it usually does feel like it's the Midwest for some freaking reason. They're showing me Ohio right now as like a big one. And I know there was a huge bust on with Operation Autumn out of Ohio, but like now all of these kids are missing all of a sudden again in Ohio. And it's like, what's up with Ohio, man? That's Jim Jordan's state, you know? Question mark. You know, it's just kind of like interesting. Oh, Joel Osteen is in Texas. Yeah. I haven't felt his energy around it. I'm not here to defend anyone, but I have not felt his energy around it. It's interesting because I felt a group of celebrities come in yesterday that I was kind of connecting to that were a part of this dark agenda in some way, are part of a dark cult of sorts. And I would say the people at the top of it were surprising, but like not surprising. The energies I was getting yesterday was Oprah, like number one, a part of this. And what was the other guy's name? Oh my gosh. Is he a bishop? TD Jakes, is that his name? Bishop TD Jakes. I know that they had done a lot of like stuff together, but his energy came up last night when I was feeling an attack coming in from a very dark elite group. And that's the energies that were coming up, like really, really hardcore connected to this. I'm trying to think of like who the other energies were. None of the other, there was a lot of them. There's a lot of celebs that were connected in. I feel like there was like a couple that were shocking to me when I saw their energies. But you know, not really that shocking, honestly, because like I feel like I've sensed their energies before, anyways. But it felt like they were at the top of that tier of whatever that hierarchy is. I don't know, for that group. It was really weird. So I felt those energies come in yesterday, last night when I was clearing. So Oprah is suspect because it's linked to Maui, you know, and she is the one that bought property there. I can't help but think that there is some kind of direct involvement with whatever she is a part of, especially because I've gotten links to Africa and things like that with her. So there's a cover up going on there, I think, right now as well. There's definitely like a cover up going on with that. So I also, when I read on the Maui fire, I also was getting connection to the former owner of Virgin Atlantic, Branson or whatever. I was getting links to him. I just read the other day, I never had read anything up on any of these guys, that there was like a race between him and Elon on who could really buy up space the fastest and who would have like the most ownership. Like it was kind of like a race between him and Elon. And I didn't know any of that stuff. And so he came up in the Maui fire reading, and I didn't even have any knowledge of him having a connection to space. I thought he was just in the plane and in, you know, plane land, you know what I mean? So that's interesting too, because he has land in Maui as well. And I didn't know how big he was in space. Like I didn't realize what a presence he had in space. And I was getting a lot of messages that this attack came from space. So there's definitely a lot of cover-ups going on with that as well. And that's linked into the elites and the trafficking as well, with the kids that went missing. And I see the tunnel systems underground Maui. So, and I'm hearing sacrifice. So with the kids and the trafficking agenda, they are sacrifice agendas, okay? And that goes back to their Satanism, all right? And they steal the good fortune from the children. And this is something that Americans don't understand about these groups and how deadly they are. They are deadly groups. These are the Moab the Tower coming in. These are the most greediest, wealthiest groups. The reason they have so much money, these people, is because they sacrifice humans. And that is the freaking truth. And this is something that is really going to be hard for Americans to understand. I have this, oh, the sun was just up. It's going to be really hard for Americans to understand that. But that's how they stay wealthy. So The way we take back our power from the wealthy, from the hoarders, from these greedy people who have sold their souls, is that we have to take all of their energies that they have stolen from these children through their sacrifices, through their rituals, what they have done to them. We have to take it all back up to the light, okay? We have to take it all back, all right? We have to protect everything they break into, because they break into sacred portals when they sacrifice them, and it is how they get their money. They basically steal those children's destinies, okay, and anything that is slotted for that destiny. So depending on how big that destiny is, what they were meant to do, when they sacrifice that child, they get all of that, okay. So how we take the power back is we have to take all of their sacrifices to the light. We have to Christ flame them. We have to take all the children back up to the light. I always call in safe spaces for the children, healing spaces, wherever they are, wherever dimension they're in, whatever realm. And then I call back all their energy. I send it all back. I send it all back. All the portals that they break into, I send it all back. I send it all up to the light. I send in healing energies for the children, because I don't want those greedy mofos to get that energy. I don't want them to steal that child's destiny. I am not going to allow that to happen, okay? And that is part of our job here as light workers, is making sure that no one steals anyone's destiny, because that's how the world gets to where it is right now, with freaking psychopaths running it, okay, and calling in wars, destruction, and more sacrifices. And that has to end. And the only way for that to end is for us to get to the bottom and the root of it, which is the rituals, okay? That is a huge part of it. And now, through these technologies, thanks to douchebags like Zuckerberg, they can break into our DNA and do the same thing, almost sacrificing us in another dimension, in another realm. So it's not as messy, you know what I mean? Because then they don't have to hide bodies and stuff like that, you know? So that was like their jam. So now we have to get on top of that train, and we have to criminalize these technologies. They cannot be illegal. There is nothing okay with mind reading technologies. There's nothing okay with it. It's criminal. You should not be allowed to read anybody's effing mind, ever. And there is no consent with those technologies. There's no consent form that you sign, dude. That's a freaking lie. That is a mirage. And who he's selling it to are all of Trumpy's friends, because who was there with Facebook, and who freaking infiltrated the election? Was it Zuckerberg that was sitting in Congress, everyone? Oh, I think it was. You know, every single one of those people are criminals. Hijacking the human mind is criminal. The mind is not for sale. The mind is not for sale. Human sovereignty is not for sale. You are not going to steal our lives and dehumanize us, okay? Because that's what they are doing. So Meta, they're all proud. Oh, we've been working so long and it's so technical, and they glam it up. It's a cover up. That is a cover up, okay? Every single one of them are criminals. Every single one of those technologies are criminal. Every single one of those techies are being paid by the Satanists who sacrifice children. That's why they pay big money for those children, because it ends up coming back into their destiny. They get all their good karma, okay? They feed off of them, okay? And then they stay wealthy, and they keep doing the same thing. The train keeps going. You know why? Because Satanism runs out. It runs out. You can only feed off of these souls for so long until you get the next one. They have to get to the next one, and the next one, the next one, okay? It's a never-ending death train, okay, what they practice. And nobody wants to talk about it. I'm fucking talking about it, because that's how we win the war. That's how we win the war. If we don't know that truth of what they're really doing to us, that they're taking everything from us, and we don't start working with spiritual warfare back, okay? Elon Musk broke into a sacred portal. That's criminal. We should have laws to lock that guy up right now because that guy has no business around anything sacred. That guy is the same fucking guy of that Zuckerberg, okay? They only care about the freaking money. They don't care about humanity. They don't care about laws. They're rewriting sovereignty laws right now through their coding systems. They're creating a whole new animation system, a whole new simulation system as we speak. And there are no sovereignty laws in those, okay? They're trying to rewrite gods because they got access to the gods. Who was paying the high dollar for all the freaking tombs to be freaking upheavaled, okay, in ancient Egypt? Who was paying the money for that? Who? Who's buying it up? Who's buying it up? Who's taking all their DNA? Who's stealing everything? Who got Jesus's DNA? You know, they act like they have all these people that are going in, you know, all of these researchers, you know, anthropologists, whoever. They come in, they're like, oh, this is a really amazing job because we can learn so much about like what they knew. And but no, they're stealing their fucking DNA, dude, to hack us. That's part of biohacking. That is data mining. They're data mining us through our DNA. They're freaking stealing from us and they're paying top dollar for a reason. For a reason. You're wondering who's giving them permission to do that. Who do you think? Who do you think? The billionaires. You know, it is like, it's one thing after the next with these guys. So we have to wake up to these dark agendas and what's really going on because none of it's being used for the good. None of it. It's like a quarter of it might be okay. Yeah, maybe a quarter of it. But the people who it gets in its hand, who has it, the people who get that stuff, who buy it up, they don't care about us. They don't care about sovereignty. They don't freaking care about us. We're like nothing to them. We're just, you know, a blip on the map. So it is something that we just have to, you know, wake up to right now is that these technologies are criminal. They're criminal. And we have to change that dialogue. Instead of applauding him, we need to be like, you're a fucking criminal and you're going to prison now for creating a mind reading technology that is going out globally to the highest bidder. Okay? No, it's not okay. It's not okay. That means that freaking somebody in another country who wants to potentially kill us can read our minds and know exactly what we know, what we're doing. And then they are not only reading our minds, but they are breaking into our minds and they can freaking do whatever they want to us. Once you're in our minds, what do we have left? What do we have left at that point? The technology is a break-in into human thoughts, okay? It is reading your mind. Okay, so I don't want to like keep talking about that, you know, because I know it's like, you know, I've said it about how many times already on this freaking video, but I am like, you know, it is at the point where it is a lot right now to handle because I feel like not a whole lot of people understand the truth, not a whole lot of people understand the agenda, but these are criminals. These are criminals that are operating and acting like they are fucking cutting edge technology. No, they're fucking criminals. Like these are criminal technologies. Nobody asked them to create these technologies. Nobody gave them permission. I didn't give them permission. I didn't give anyone permission to biohack me. No, I didn't. I didn't give them permission. And the fact of the matter is they can do it to anyone at this point, and that is what has to go. Like that has to go ASAP. So, anyways, I'm wishing you guys the best. Thank you so much for joining me live today. There is, like I said, a lot of stuff that is hitting the fan right now. And it is through our gut, our intuition of what's right and wrong right now. We have a code of ethics that we have to freaking stand by right now because these other countries don't have codes of ethics, okay? There are certain countries that don't have ethics, okay? There are people that don't operate in the way that we do and the way we were schooled. And the countries that Trump brought us to, that put us in bed with, are not the ethical ones, okay? He could have chosen a lot of other country, a lot of better, like we could have like, you know, been real nice to freaking Denmark and the US. What an amazing group. But you know what? He's a criminal, so he's not going to freaking go around Denmark, okay? Because they're all peaceful. Anyways, I wish you the best. I'm sending you guys so much love. I'm going to do the weekly energy reading over on Patreon. And thank you so much for all of your donations. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye.